I've been called lots of stuff. Yeah, I've done a lot of deed. I've had it rough and tough. You'll know I've smoked a lot of weed. Mellow, don't you know? Well, I've learned a thing or two, like when and where I should go to, what I should or shouldn't do. I've been left alone, no company, but that's alright with me, 'cause I'm big and ugly. I'm big and ugly. I'd like to let it grow, you know I'm talking about my beard. I'll have you all know that I know sometimes it might look weird, but I got a friend upstairs whom I'll keep confiding in. I know he's there 'cause when I knock he always lets me in. Brings me peace with what it is and what is not for me. To accept what I see, they're looking back at me as big and ugly. Big and ugly. I could have been small and cute and play a flute like a dream, or sing like an angel, maybe play ukulele. But I got to work with my hands and keep dragging it along, banging on that old guitar. Sometimes I'll write a song. I lose a few friends, so it seems I got no enemies. 'Cause what you get is what you see, that's how it is with me. 'Cause I'm big and ugly. I'm big and ugly. Big and ugly.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Big Uglies. As always, I'm your host, Josh Denny, coming to you with a microphone that just came out of the thing. Great way to start. Yeah. Guess I'll just hold this here for a minute. I'm having a good time. Yeah, coming to you Wednesday normal, 4:30-ish time. With me, as always, the one and only co-host of the show, Mr. Carl Spitali. What's up, buddy?
Doing my best Gino Bisconte impression today.
Yeah.
Netta got me this head.
Did you also get married recently?
No, why?
Oh, because he got.
Did he? Gino
shout
got
out to Gino and Keanu. They got married a couple weeks ago. Last week? Last Sunday?
I did not. I know shotgun weddings anytime soon. I don't
see if I can adjust this on the fly. This is always fun.
Yeah, it's just people just gonna be watching that. You could just switch to the one camera if you want.
Oh, you're gonna carry the show while I do this?
Well, I figure I could probably set something. We got a decent amount of things to talk about.
I know. Well, we skipped a sports show yesterday, which has been known to happen from time to time.
But if we put it on the Patreon, it's not skipped because they won't.
No, it's just it's squeezed.
Yeah,
we just twisted together.
We move them. We move them.
Yeah, I'll let you. I'll drop.
Pretty busy sort of week. Number one, all the sports that are happening in LA. It's a madhouse this week.
Pretty big.
Not that anybody cares so much about high school football, but the two biggest high school football games are going on. The East LA Classic, where two teams are playing. They're playing in SoFi fucking Stadium, right? And then Bosco is playing, and then Bosco is playing Modern Day, and that's the number 1 team and number 2 team, and they're playing in Santa Ana Stadium, which I think they should be reversed, but that East LA Classic just is sort of a thing. They'll get a bunch of people in there. But then Rutgers USC at the Coliseum. Okay. Suns at Lakers home opener. Fucking Yankees Dodgers World Series all on Friday night.
All the same day.
All on Friday night.
It's pretty wild.
Welcome to LA. Like that is, and nobody cares because there's like a concert that somebody would go to instead. You know, like that's the type of town that we live in. You're like, you guys know there's like all these amazing sporting events on there, and they're like, pfft. People know like one, like they'll know that like the Dodgers are playing. They'll know that. But the fact that there's Friday night
like
football.
The only one anybody really gives a shit about is the Dodgers World Series.
Well, that's the other thing is people don't realize is,
and it's just because
the Rams won the Super Bowl and nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah, it's just because Mexicans. That's the only reason anyone cares about the Dodgers is because Mexicans care about the Dodgers.
Right, and that this is a baseball city in the sense that like everything Dodgers all the time. Mm-hmm. LAFC is pretty big now because the Galaxy are in Carson. That people don't know that. So like the way it is, like LA downtown-ish has a team now. So like all the Mexicans love LAFC.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the other team that they love, because of the success in modern era of Shaq and Kobe, they love the Lakers.
Yes.
The Rams won the Super Bowl in the first year that Matthew Stafford was there, and nobody cared in town. They didn't even get a parade because of COVID.
They won it in Los Angeles.
Yeah, nobody cared.
Yeah, like historically, there's only been there were none up until recently. There were no teams that had ever won the Super Bowl in their home stadium. And then Tampa Bay and LA did it back to back. And
they both had new old quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Crazy.
nobody gave a shit. So yeah, it's a big sports weekend in LA. It's kind of like sports weekend overload too, because we're like, oh, do we go to any of these things? And if we do, which one do we go to? And
I think the easiest to get tickets to, Rutgers USC.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
The high school football games will probably be the hardest to get
Impossible. Impossible, dude. It's like they've probably been sold out. Like I feel like the high school football games sold out. And then the World Series sold out, right? Can't get tickets for that.
Oh yeah, and by the way, that would be like your rent.
Yeah.
Like it would take $2,000.
So then you go, all right, what's left out of those events you go to? Well, the Lakers home opener where Bronny James and that's a hot ticket too, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably like the even less available as well. It really leaves you with like, dude, I think the Coliseum will be half empty.
Yeah, maybe. Especially since my beloved Scarlet Knights have just shit the bed now 3 weeks in a row against Big Ten competition.
So did USC. Both teams are playing. Both have 3-game losing streaks.
Yeah, both.
Which is crazy.
Do you have a World Series prediction?
Yanks in 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna go Dodgers in 7.
Here's why, not just because I'm a Yankee fan, and I do like the Dodgers. We've been to Dodgers game here since even Ohtani's been here. I've been going to Dodger games, for a decade here. I do fucks with the Dodgers. They're National League Baseball. It has no threat to my Yankees. And I go,
We love we
that
love
fucking only way they're going to see each other is a fucking, they play every once in a while. But then I
Yeah.
go, who are they going to fucking, they'd have to play in the World Series for
Yeah.
me to even, here we go, right? World Series. And here's how I look at it. They're going to need Ohtani to pitch because if they don't have an answer for the Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton that aren't in slumps at all. In fact, they're all hot. They all have hot bats.
Now here's an interesting question. If Ohtani does pitch, still Yankees in 6?
Maybe in 7 because of rotation, but he's that good to where he throws a wrench in it.
Yeah. Yeah,
but if they get out ahead, I mean,
I think if Ohtani doesn't pitch, I go with you, Yankees in 5 or 6. I think so. But if Ohtani gets on the mound, I'm going Dodgers in 7.
Because Roberts had already said that it's gonna be a bullpen series or something, which means
we'll see.
We don't have a guy who throws and hits home runs.
Roberts was one Mets loss game away from losing his job entirely a week and a half ago. So
Roberts was one loss away from losing his job every fucking year.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts saving his ass all the time.
Yeah, I just think, and that's the other thing too, is like you can't discount Ohtani being like, listen, I've been playing for the garbage Angels for my entire career. Now I'm in the World Series, my first season in LA. I'd like to win a World Series, please.
And that's my prediction on that. But we'll cover that shit when we do our sports talk, our sports space, where it's actually interactive. You guys can get involved and ask us questions.
Yeah, Carl the Wig says Roberts needs to go ASAP. Yeah, I agree, and it has nothing to do with baseball. It has more to do with all the woke bullshit that the Dodgers franchise has gotten involved in the last few years, particularly with the Trevor Bauer. Yeah, I think the Trevor Bauer situation alone should cost Roberts his job, and a lot of the people in the league front office as well.
I was going to say that's so much of their front office of the Dodgers, though. That's not as much as I wouldn't want Roberts to be there.
Speaking of predictions and wins, here's a series that I think is about to get wrapped up on Friday. Trump versus Harris. I think when Trump does Rogan on Friday, it's over. Did you see the article that came out today that said that Harris said, we declined Joe Rogan's invitation? Get the fuck out of here. You would decline it.
Didn't I tell you that?
Yeah.
I predict it?
There's no way that I
told you they lied.
Yeah.
That they never asked.
Yeah.
That Joe Rogan was probably like, yeah, I'd be open to having her. He never was like, please come on my show. And we were like, we told him no.
Yeah, they asked, and he probably said something to the effect of, well, in the name and the spirit of fairness and being unbiased as a media outlet, which no other media outlet will even do these days. We'll have her on if she wants to come on. And then she was like, fuck you, I don't even want to come on.
What if he even proposed that they both came on at the same time?
Oh, I'm sure he proposed a lot of things in response to their initial request to be on. And then they came back and said, and I'm sure he said, I just have 2 rules, which are the 2 rules he said every single time. Number 1, you don't get to have a thing in your ear and people in the room that are directing the conversation in any way. And 2, it has to be 2 to 3. It has to be 2 to 3 hours unedited.
That's why she
wouldn't do either of those things.
Yeah. As far as
Carl the Wig, it was over after the first burger flip last weekend. Boy, it's almost like Carl the Wig has the agenda.
I love that.
I agree.
Shout out to the Wig though, because the Wig's sort of that I'll say venom. It's lighthearted. No ill will. I know he doesn't wish any ill will to us, but it's sort of his venom was more directed at Vito.
Yeah, and now the wig has fixed itself to you.
But I sort of changed course. I made the wig. It's more of an appreciation account now, as opposed to it's like a hate or troll account.
Oh, I see.
It's more like I feel like we're more in agreement with each other because I also shit on Vito. I think that's our common.
Yeah, it's funny. So I
think that's our common denominator.
I did the Dick Show on Sunday, which was a fun time, and I
started listening to it, and I listened to it at a bad time because I was like, I can't listen to this. I'm gonna go to sleep. And no, it's not a knock against you guys because I do. And
yeah,
Dick has way more energy, and you're an energy guy as far as talking. And it was a thing of like, this was going to keep me up. So I was like, I can't listen to this.
Yeah, he's so high energy, and especially doing the show.
I know, dude. Like when you're sitting in front of him, and he's like, "All right, it's go time," and you're just like, "Holy shit!" Did he just like there's turning it on, and then there's turning it on.
Yeah,
like it's actually really fucking fun to watch. Like Dick get into Dick, you know.
Well, and it's interesting too because
it's at a light switch though.
Yeah, it is because it's not even. There's no build up.
No,
and build up before you start the show or anything like that.
Yeah, and I always have a thing with like doing impressions or like whenever there's like keywords that I'll use to like snap into the impression, right? Like with Morgan, I do all that. Like there's like a hi, right? I love saying a hi because it gets me right in there. Well, hello there. With Dick, I notice he immediately has his own energy snap type thing, and it's like, wow, it's like a wind-up toy or something. It's like a like that intro that he does. People are literally seeing. I don't think they realize that they're seeing like that fucking here it comes. Like dude. Shout out to Dick. He really brings it for his fans. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's a showman. He's definitely a showman. For sure. And what I think is so funny is I never understand the barometer for how hated Vito is until
you're there.
Until I'm there or until I see the comments afterwards.
You see the chat. That's what it is.
Because there are people, well, it's not even, I don't even really pay attention to the chat while we're in there, but I'll look at the comments and stuff after the fact. And what's amazing to me is, as much as they hate me, and boy, do they hate me. Like anytime I talk, he's interrupting. It's like, well, it's a conversational podcast. That's going to happen when you have two guys. And so the two criticisms of me is that I always interrupt Dick, and they think I'm doing bits. They're like, he's just prepping these bits for his stand-up. And it's like, no, these are things I'm thinking. And the way that I do comedy is kind of the same way I talk. It's not that different. I, unlike Dick, don't have this wind-up character that I become when I do stand-up. It's just me. The way that I talk on shows is the same way I kind of do material. But with that being said, they will talk incessant. I fucking hate it's a Denny episode. Skip it. I hate it. And then they're just like, but he's still better than Vito. And it's like, wow, they must really fucking hate. Yeah,
there's a for lack of better words, like a crusade against Vito, and that
I know, and
that small window in time with the whole. I think my mic just peaked. There was that small window in time where, with the whole, I forgot the dude's name already, the dirty kid,
Riley.
Yeah. When that whole thing happened. And Dick didn't even know what was going on. He was like, did Vito do this? And he's asking the fans and stuff. You'll get those like threads of comments of being like, it was only a matter of time before this fat fucking retard ruined a goddamn, he's like, we've put up with his fucking liberal bullshit for so long. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, and then it went from, they don't know what's a bit and what isn't. Because Dick and Vito are actually good at that. But
and the other thing is, of course, Dick being himself, and this is the part that nobody understands, is that like, I know that for everyone else this is like this remote parasocial thing, but like we all live within 30 minutes of each other. We're all friends. Like we hang out when we're not broadcasting shit
outside of work.
Yeah, even though we may have like very different political views, and we give each other shit. Like I give Vito 10 times more shit off the air than I do on Twitter or in front of other people. Like, and it's just in sort of that. I don't want to say like. The way that you kick a friend in the ass to get him going kind of a way. It's like, it's more that. It's more like in trying to be encouraging, but also breaking balls at the same time. So it's sort of like, it's like you do it with love kind of a thing. But it took Dick no more than like a minute into the show to be like, hey, do you want to replace Vito on The Biggest Problem? And I was like, oh my God, he just ripped this fucking wound wide open for everybody again.
Dude, so like
missing a beat, I just go, yeah, sure. And then everyone's like, oh, it's starting again.
But there are moments when like, and I'm just thinking about like you said, like reading the comments after and like how they were like quick to just like, he needs to be replaced. Some stuff he definitely brings on himself. And
oh yeah. Well, that's
one
where
one of them was, did you see when that fucking influencer kid wrecked his car and he was like McLaren and he was like filming
it was $1 million custom McLaren and he was texting while driving in a rainstorm
and his friend is bleeding and hurt and he's just like worried about his phone in the car. Yeah. So Vito tweeted out that he like, you know, oh my God, this fucking asshole, this scumbag, all he could do is text and film when this, and one of their followers, one of Dick and Vito's followers, who is one of our followers, wrote R.I.P. Car.
Hilarious.
And I couldn't laugh more.
I know.
Because here's Vito going off about how much this influencer scumbag is. And he did the same shit immediately after. We were like, hey, no show today. We were in an accident. And he's just like, R.I.P. Car.
Yeah.
And you're like, so he's like tweeting out the lack of empathy and sympathy for his friend right there. We're just like, yeah.
We're literally posting that we have airbags.
Dude, I know you in real life.
I know. And it's funny because
dude, you don't even know that guy.
Yeah. Well, that's what's funny is people were like,
what the fuck, Vito?
People will be like, remember when Denny got all butthurt about R.I.P. Car? And I go, yeah, because it was an hour after it happened. It was an hour after we got back.
Dude, I don't even think it was that long.
Yeah. It was like I literally had fresh airbag burns on my leg and forearm. All the hair on my leg and forearm were singed off. I think I had like for sure had a concussion.
Hair sandwich.
Knocked out. And yeah, excuse me if R.I.P. Car. I wasn't in the mood to hear it right after we got back from the tow yard that day. So yeah, it was like, and it wasn't just, I mean, people could go back and watch that episode with him, Vito, or with Dick, Vito, and Destiny was on that episode. And Destiny, who I can't fucking stand, was even like, Jesus Christ, dude, it happened an hour. You did it an hour afterwards. And then he goes, and then people forget what Vito said is, we're all praying for you. And I'm like, again, who is we? Right? Like I go, this is you. This is what Vito does. He speaks on behalf of Dick for the both of them. And Dick's like, I'm not don't put me into this. Don't lump me in. But I do think that's hilarious that was his reaction to that
so
gaming kid. Or I don't even think he's a gaming kid.
I wish I like took the screenshot of it, and because I would have liked to like shout them out because that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, just and by the way, I'll get RIP Car comments in the shit. This is now like a year and a half later. That happened last August. So, you know, people are still jumping things and comment RIP Car. And it's still, now it's hilarious. It's funny. On the day of, maybe like, give me 2 hours before I can see the humor in it.
Yeah.
And then people are like, it wasn't even your car. It's like, yeah, but it was about the mountain of fucking shit that I had to do in response to it. Like, number one, I had to go get a car then. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
And it just sucks when things like that are out of your control.
Yeah. I was torpedoed by a family of Mexicans. You know,
Right.
if, by the way, like if Trump gets in and these deportations happen, they would have never been there to hit us in the first place. Do you find yourself driving around the city and being like, dude, this fit to be like fucking Escape from New York here in a little bit. This is about to be a wasteland of nothingness. I can't wait.
I mean, do I?
I'm sure Newsom is like, we won't adhere to that at all. And then, oh God, imagine if they have to send in the National Guard. Oh, I'll come. I'm gonna come.
I be hearing, like, in my head, I hear like the purge siren. And
just Mexicans are running away.
no, not even that. Like before that, I'd be like, boy, the Olympics are supposed to be here. Are they gonna clean up all these fucking for the next 12 hours? And I'm like, okay. Dude, I'm sorry. That movie's a good starting point, guide map, right?
Yeah, for where we have to go as a nation.
I mean, it's not that bad of an idea, right? And I feel like it's definitely a CIA type movie that they put out there to be like, we could try it. Just gonna put these series of movies out.
Yeah, with the people,
just to wait and see how the public feels. They've gone to 4 of them so far in theaters.
Yeah. It's a pretty popular piece of propaganda that's been floated to the people. The Purge. Didn't they have a Purge election night or something like that? Wasn't that one of them?
That was a decent one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It's always
okay. So here's my problem. Can I tell you my problem before we actually get into the things we're supposed to talk about? It's
like I like the one where it's like a Mexican lady who's like, I didn't know this was the Purge night. I just thought with my groceries, and then the black guy has to like get her to safety.
Yeah, I don't remember which one that is.
Because like always, they're just out. He's just like, listen, I know it's the Purge, but I might could maybe get my dick sucked by this lady. So
no. So the first movie, my beef with it is they only focused on murder. I think the first Purge movie sucks, and the other ones are all better than the first one. And here's why. So in the first movie, it starts with Ethan Hawke's daughter's upstairs with her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, time to get out the house. And right before that, he tried to fuck her, and she was like, no. Right? And he's like, man, I should fucking, you know? And he was seeming forceful, and he was seeming kind of rapey, right? So he's just like, no, you got to leave, and basically saying it's Purge night. And so that fool fake leaves, stays in the house, just to go downstairs when the Purge starts to shoot her dad in a time when they just explained how all crime is legal. That means shoplifting, armed robbery, rape, right? Why did he's just like, I'm going to kill your dad? Why didn't he just rape her? Like, he'd be like, well, that was legal. And then just go out the window or something, you know? It's like,
yeah.
Why did all they did was fucking, like, why did he go downstairs? It's like, I'm going to kill her dad. And then I can have her forever or some goofy shit. I was like, dude, it's only a Purge for 12 hours, kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, maybe he thought like, well, the dad will come up here and try to stop me from raping. Or maybe thought if I murder the dad, I'll be able to rape her and her mom.
Yeah, but then he was like, I can get away with that. But then he'd be like a monster for forever type shit instead of just to her, or like, she probably would have hit it. 74% don't get reported anyways, right?
I don't know. These are some stats I really don't like you throwing out off the cuff.
No, I'm just saying about the fact that why did they focus on murder, right? So they like hunker down because everybody's going to try and break in their house and murder people, and then people get murdered on the front lawn. It's all about murder, right?
I want to do a Purge Shabbos purge, right?
I
Like
don't know
what kind of crimes what kind of crimes do you think Jews try
Before
to get away
sundown?
from purge? Yeah. What do you think they're plotting?
I don't
So
know,
here's
but,
what we're going to do. We're going to flood the entire country with
I don't know, but
Negroes.
they'll find loopholes to get around it.
What we'll do is we'll flood the entire country with Negroes and we'll destroy it from the inside out under the guise of progressivism.
But then
This
yeah,
is what
so check it out though.
Instagram, by the way.
The second movie is called Purge Anarchy, and they focus on my beef from the first movie. All the crime that would be happening because it would be like anarchy outside.
Right.
And they focused on that and way broader of a scale. And just to show you the scope of it, like, no, it's a purge night. Like, they're just, if you're out in the streets and somebody crosses you, they'll just kill you and get away with it. But they're not out to murder you on purpose. Some people are.
Mm-hmm.
But then by like the fourth movie, it was just like people with like, it was like twisted metal. Like they had like weird cars and shit that like killed people. It's just like this guy's a fucking chainsaw guy, and he like opens the back of his truck, and he's
just like they brought back Pimp My Ride, but for the entire year, Exhibit was just making Purge night vehicles.
What about a chainsaw inside a chainsaw?
Yeah,
Booyah.
it's like a bit I had on my very first album where I was like, I want to pimp my ride in the theme of road rage.
I mean, Pimp Your Ride fucking purge shit would be tight though.
Be pretty cool.
So
we think it's the purge night. I think we're gonna all try to file our taxes before midnight.
well, I was really saying it because like it sucks like when we were saying that things were out of your control.
What would we call the poige?
The plague.
The plague. Oh,
And it's when we officially get rid of all of the goyim.
If you thought what was happening in the tunnels before was wild, what do you see when we use the tunnels for on the night of the poige?
And then we will film it all and call it Goys Gone Wild while you scream and try to get back in the walls of our communities.
Goys Gone Wild is hilarious.
But yeah, going back to that is like it sucks when you're not in control. And I say this, you are not in control of something, and that's they took your special down from Amazon.
I know we've had this on the list of to do. Talk about a poige. This has been on our list of to talk about now for 2 episodes, and I keep forgetting to bring it up. But yeah, I got and people were asking. They were like, how come the Amazon thing didn't match up with the release? I had submitted it like 2, 3, 4 times, and it kept getting kicked back for little tiny pain in the ass things of like, the art doesn't have this, but it does have this, so you got to upload a new one of these. This has to be in this format. And I went through with a fine-tooth comb and made sure everything was right with it. And then it sits in review, where presumably they review it to determine if the content is okay for the platform. It sat in review for like 3 months since I last submitted. And I finally just I started submitting it in when the edit was done, which I think was like early June. And I got the whole thing staged and set up and uploaded, was awaiting approval. And then it doesn't get approved. It sits pending. So we just roll forward with the July 4th release date. And it's just pending, kicks back again, resubmit, pending, kicks back again, resubmit, pending. Finally, in like the 3rd week of September or 4th week of September, it's like, it's approved. It's live. It's up. And I was like, oh, wow. I noticed that. And I went and found it in the marketplace and shared it and told people to go watch it. And inevitably, I'm sure tons of fucking trolls reported it. But I'm sure that happened on every platform that we released it on. What was shocking to me was that it was like 2 days after I had posted that it was up, even after it had sat in review for so long.
I was going to say, it was only up for like 3 days.
Not even. It wasn't up for a week. It was up for 2-3 days. And then was taken down for violating their hate speech guidelines.
Policy.
Yeah, which I wish they would cite specifically what part. You know what I mean? Like, is it because it opens with the word faggots in the first like 10 seconds? Like, I want to know how far the reviewer got into it before they just were like, we're taking this down.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they comb through it with AI. I don't think they waste their time with like.
But see, that's what I would think would
having
happen.
like a fucking Pajit just watch the shit. They have a AI thing that flags it for keywords, and then they have some flag it come watch it, right? Like that's their job. They just watch all the flags, all the flagged content.
Now, if
and it could be a mistake, and it could be not.
If a Pajit did review it, what do you think would be their reaction to them watching? What is an Indian Amazon human reviewer's reaction to my special?
This Josh Denny guy. I don't know about him. Because sometimes I was on board for what he say. One he talk about gay faggot. One he talk about black. I don't like when he talk about Islam. I don't.
Oh, that's what it was. That's right.
Yes, buddy.
So the gay stuff was fine, and the black people stuff was fine.
Make fun of religious group, buddy.
Oh, that's where I went wrong. Was the Muslim?
Yes, Amazon does not care about black. Does not care about gay.
That's not a surprise at all.
Muslim, buddy.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah,
and it was because
you're fat. Because you're so fat. I cannot stand. I look at the TV. I said, "Oh my God, is he so fat? How is he so fat?
Yeah,
why is he so fat? How is someone so fat? They cannot be.
What? But wouldn't that make me sacred in your land?
No, cannot be.
Okay, it's because I'm not actually a cow.
You may be confused with cow. Let me ask you something. Can you milk?
Yes.
You have lactate.
Yes.
You have lactate, buddy.
Yeah, I have one.
Because therefore you're not.
I have one tit that I can make milk from if I squeeze it a lot. Yeah.
And you squeeze the other one. You know what they call that? Tit for tat.
Oh, okay.
Yes, buddy.
Is there any way I can appeal this to where I can get the special backup, Mr. Amazon Man?
Yes, you can. I can transfer you.
Oh, God. Why do I feel like it's going to sound exactly the same as this guy?
No, please. He is very different. Very different. Not same at all, please.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, go ahead and transfer me.
Please. Totally different department.
Okay. Well, I would love to be transferred into that department if you can.
Okay, please hold. Hello, thank you for calling. Please, where are you going to meet this? May I help you today?
Yeah. So I was trying to appeal.
Excuse me, sir. Can you please not yell at me, please?
Well, I didn't think I was yelling. It was just my regular talking voice.
Okay, please. Continue.
Yeah, so I was trying to see if I could get my special back up. You guys took it down because you said it was too offensive. And
sir, who are you to think that you are very taking the time to call today? And I want to thank you so much for your time. But please, if I may, can I please have some information before we continue?
But I just gave the other guy all the information.
No, you need more information. More information.
Okay.
Are you a fat cow, big Josh Denny?
Yes, that was so you do have my information. See, I knew you guys shared the information, but
I knew it was on the fucking screen.
I knew it was up there. I knew you guys share the information back and forth, you lying bastards.
I just think it's fucking whack because I should be able to make fun of the Catholic Church if I'm Catholic only. I should be able to make fun of Jews if I'm Jewish only.
Well, that doesn't. None of that holds up because every other comedian that's approved by them, and you saw something in the TOS that I didn't even recognize.
Mm-hmm.
which was the fact that they say, listen, if we pay for it, like if it's our license produced content, then none of this applies.
Yeah, basically it's saying that because Amazon didn't pay for it, they can just ban it.
Yes.
If Amazon paid for it, they go fuck yourself. We produced this show and we believe in our
right.
But they don't produce content like that. So they don't have to be in those situations.
Real quick thing that the wig brought up. He said, any chance you'll be back at the end? Only asking because I live down the street from it.
Funny you say that.
Yeah.
So December 6th.
Yes.
Me, this guy, Tim Young.
Yeah.
You guys know Tim Young from the X pages, which I know, Wig, you're probably on X right now, I'm assuming. So, yeah. All three of us will be down at the end on December 6th. The link should be live by next week, I think.
No, Friday. Tickets will be on sale Friday.
There you go. So Friday, it'll go live.
Tickets Friday.
So there you have it. And yeah, we can't promise Vito will be there.
No.
But we should make him go.
Yeah, Vito's like, maybe I'll show up to that. And then we won't hear from him for a month.
Yeah. Vito, also a little insight to Vito in real life, IRL. Vito will go somewhere that's he told you he was going to invite you somewhere. You would think that it would be with an adequate amount of time.
Oh yeah,
not Vito.
No, Vito will
invite you somewhere while it's happening. Like, hey, we're just sitting down at this place. You want to come out and get some dinner? I'm like, you're at the table. Like, what are you talking about? You have no etiquette. Aren't you Italian?
When they did the Dick Show live at what the fuck is that kid's place? Deaf Noodles. They did it at Deaf Noodles Comedy Club in Hollywood. Vito's like, you guys gonna come to the show tonight? And I go, or you go, no, you're gonna come to the live show? And I go, yeah, when is it? He goes, it's happening right now. It's like, what? And he goes, yeah, it's happening right now. And I go, okay, is there some sort of like guest list or something that we can get on? And he's like, I mean, I'll look into it. And I go, you'll look into it? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Let me know. Look into it and see if you can get to me by Friday, since it's happening now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's just like it's so funny, the delay, and I don't know. He's like, he's aloof, right? And aloof. I think the definition of aloof is like purposefully conspicuous or
I got it.
Defiant.
I got it. I'll pull it up.
I think it's purposely defiant or conspicuous.
You are
or inconspicuous.
You're so close and yet so far. Aloof. Definition 1, not friendly or forthcoming, cool and distant. They were courteous but faintly aloof. Similar, conspicuously uninvolved and uninterested.
Conspicuously uninterested. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was thinking.
Through distaste. Well, that would
Vito.
That would make sense if we were salads.
That's Vito, though.
Yeah,
conspicuously disinterested. Like if it is, so it's something that he knows he doesn't like planning ahead or telling that, like, the whole invitation process. So he like willfully neglects to do that part. And that's why it's conspicuously, right? That's that part. It's like obvious and it's conscious that they're doing it. But to them, it's subconscious. And they're like, what? What do you mean? Right? It's like, that's Vito. It's so maddening.
Speaking of maddening fat people things, a little conspiracy theory.
You're about to put my picture up.
No, little conspiracy theory you turned me on today about the Trump McDonald's situation. I was talking to
Blew
you
your
earlier.
mind, right?
Yeah, because we were talking, we were pontificating about possibly getting Arby's today, and then I was like, oh yeah, did you see that there's like an outbreak at McDonald's, so we can't have quarter pounders
and
anytime
how
soon?
fast did I squash your bullshit?
No. I just replied. I said, I have a feeling that has something to do with politics. And you go, boy, does it. Let me walk you through.
Yeah, dude, I squashed that fucking bullshit. I was like, we can get quarter pounders right now.
Yeah.
I know it's 9:30 in the morning, but
Yeah. Daily Mail. Trump supporters called McDonald's E. coli outbreak a ridiculously obvious conspiracy. It really does make sense. Fans of Donald Trump are suggesting a reported E. coli outbreak is linked to a McDonald's is a conspiracy against the former president. Yeah, it's not a conspiracy against Trump. It's a conspiracy because of Trump, but it's against McDonald's.
yeah.
Which to me should be a crime punishable by death akin to burning the American flag. Ill talk of McDonald's should be something that gets a journalist murdered.
Here's the thing. Did you see RFK take a moment to fucking use it? Dude, that guy's a fucking politician's in his DNA, bro.
Yeah, where he used the thing to talk about using beef tallow instead of seed oils.
Oh, dude, you know, the only thing that pisses off is fucking vegans and shit, where they're like, you're gonna make the French fries with that? Don't eat them. Don't eat them. We don't want you there. We have the right to refuse service to anyone, especially you.
By the way, can we just go on as fats? Can we go on a limb? Like, I just want to point something out to you. Yes, I'm fat, right? But like, look at my skin. Like, look at this pinkish hue. Look at Carl's pinkish hue. I've never seen a vegan that doesn't look like they have HIV. You understand? Like,
I've never seen.
I'm overweight, but I don't look like I'm dying. Okay, like look at any vegan person you've ever seen in your life. They're gray like ET.
Yeah, and that's probably the point, to get them as grays and just fucking eunuchs. These motherfucking vegans swear by it, and I think they're just dying faster, but all of a sudden they're like, I'm so healthy, it's the best for you. Motherfuckers living off fucking smoothies and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I've never seen it. I say this all the time. Show me a 70-year-old strong ass powerlifting vegan. You can't.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
You show me a 70-year-old vegan, you know what they're doing? This.
Yeah.
Just sitting.
Yeah.
It's always like a guy who looks like fucking Gandhi or some shit. You're like, I'm a vegan. And they're skinny as a rail. And like you said, they AIDS patients. They all look like, especially when they're older, Matthew McConaughey in the Dallas Buyers Club.
Yes.
They look like, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong? And you go, that's lack of magnesium and everything you get from eating red meat and fishes.
Yeah. Can I just point something? Can I just point out something?
Take this off.
It says McDonald's linked. Right? It says McDonald's linked to E. coli outbreak. One dead. One dead is not an outbreak. Okay, I'm gonna need 30.
But that's not even what debunks it.
Yeah, I'm just saying from my perspective
of why you're not scared.
Can we just say that one dead is not an outbreak? Okay,
that's how they got COVID, to spread hysteria to spread. One dead,
and the other because this is the second conspiracy theory. The first one was that when people found out that this thing was set up, they're like, wow, it was entirely staged. It's like, every presidential appearance has to be, so that somebody doesn't show up with a van bomb and destroy an entire McDonald's. Notice my concern is for the McDonald's and not Trump. But but it's like, of course they have to vet these people. And I'll tell you another thing. I bet Secret Service looks through their cars and looks under their cars and searches their person to make sure they're not carrying a gun. Like all
or
these
gave them the car to drive through.
Correct. Yes, to make sure that there's
you want to be able to drive through? Drive this in.
Yeah, drive our. It's a Secret Services minivan on the side of it.
Yeah. Not Secret Service.
It's so it's so stupid. It's
so this is how it was really debunked.
And you and I immediately said I didn't say that it had to be for presidential safety. What did I tell you right out of the gate when I said, of course they can't just let Philadelphians drive through and talk to the president on camera?
Because that'd be the worst, bro.
Well, you think the worst. I think it would be the most hilarious thing in the history.
It'd be hilarious, but that's the worst. Like, right? They go in there. Hold on there. This is a McDonald's, ain't it? Yeah. You got that new chicken Big Mac? All right, let me get 2 of those. Okay. Not the meals, just a sandwich. You guys charged me the meals last time, and we had to do Chinese math at the fucking counter. Yeah. All right. 2 of those. A regular Big Mac. That one with no pickles, because that's how my baby likes it. And 6 McDoubles. Large Diet Coke.
And also, Mr. President, can you do something about these Haitian niggers ruining my like, that's why they couldn't just have people on, because they just be like, yeah, Mr. President, they're trying to make my kids faggots at fucking.
Yeah. Anyways, Mr. Trump, how he's doing? You know, he's got a bunch of illegals up here trying to vote, and he's voting against you. I'll stand for that.
Yeah. What would he say in response? What would Trump say in response?
I know it's crazy. It's crazy what they're trying to do to you people.
Yeah,
like through the window. He's like through the window.
Yeah.
And all you people out there, those are nice looking kids. Okay, goodbye.
Well, you know, they're nice looking now. They're trying to cut their fucking dicks off at recess.
Dude, this one? It ain't even mine. That's probably the one you said looks good. That one's mine.
Yeah.
She ain't pretty. All right. Blame the mother for that one. Dude, I'm a looker.
Just Brock Lesnar's daughter sitting behind him.
Yeah, but real shit. This fucking Indian lady, she gonna win?
Yeah, we don't want no fucking President Pajit, okay?
Oh, no, dude. I went down South Street. It smelled like fucking rice and beans and curry down there. And can you believe that? They got Mexicans cooking the fucking Indian food. Who ever heard of that?
Yeah, this is why it has to be state. I said that to my dad, and the funny thing is when you have a dad who's one of these people, they don't know you're doing a bit.
There's also the Philly liberals.
They'll just immediately be like, yeah, they're trying to make my kids gay at school. My dad's response will be like, yeah, they're doing that. You know that's what's happening over there.
You know, he's right. Yeah, he's right. You know.
Yeah, I know you think you might be. You might be trying to do a bit right now, but they are cutting dicks off in schools. You've seen this, right?
So like, but that's the other thing too. Is like Philly has like these liberals because they just don't like those people around them. So
yeah. So they go the other. They are the super liberal
antithesis of like annoying liberal because of the annoying, Republicans. There,
it's a bunch of Italian girls who are like dark skinned who went to 2 semesters of community college, and now
the guys are worse.
Black guys like I ain't racist like my dad.
Yeah, but they have the same accent as
that's what they do. They grab a black penis and they're like, Look at me, I ain't racist. I'll do it. I ain't like my father.
They all have the same voice as the guys on the other side, but they're like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Trump wants to ram people up and put them in fucking camps, dude. That's fucking gay.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in that type of shit. They're like mad, like fucking evil dudes, and we just want to live peacefully at home. Got a bunch of retards running around thinking they fucking friends with Trump and all that. So I don't like a person I think is an asshole. And
they always say that about him. They always say that about him. And they'll also
he's an asshole. What has he ever done for anybody? Yeah, fuck yous. Hey, I'll tell you what, go Birds.
And they'll like, they'll literally be like, oh my God, it's not those poor niggers' fault. They're like,
shut the fuck up, Debbie. Both your neighbors is black. Why don't you tell them who you're voting for?
Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, it's just sin. It's not their fault. Them niggers are so dumb. It's not. It's Jesus did that to them. It's not their fault.
See how they talk? Say racist with the N-words and all that. That's why we got to get this Trump shit out of here.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, lady, you just fucking used to fuck the whole block, lady.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Fuck all of yous.
That there is that lady who's on every block who fucked the entire block and some in the neighborhood.
And then she's like, you got to be nice to the hooker president, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna pass. We're gonna pass on Joe Rogan. Ugh. Do you ever just want to see somebody come out of frame and just bash her in the fucking head with a barbed wire wrapped baseball bat? Like, walking?
Well, dude, I thought that was gonna happen on fucking Charlemagne's show. The way he was going at Laura Trump.
Oh my God, that was. Did you watch that?
I did. I didn't know she was kind of hot.
Oh yeah, that's Eric's wife. Yeah, I met her. I met her at Walkaway last November, or whatever, when we were there for Brandon's roast. Yeah, she's a tall drink of water. She's also like skeleton thin. Like,
I don't know. She like this right here. She had the California thing where like this whole square area is what is hot and what matters.
Yes.
Like cleavage, fate.
You know what it is? She's one of those women that, like, when she's wearing like a mic pack on her body, it looks like she's wearing a JanSport backpack from the 90s.
Jeez.
That's how small she is. Like, when I was standing next to her, I was like, I think I just turned. It was either talking to Natalie Beisner or Brandon, and I just turned to them and I go, I must look like livestock next to this one.
I told this man he is cow plenty times.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like one standing next to Laura Trump, but no, she's sharp as a tack and really nice. And yeah, she was like very, very friendly with everybody there.
I've said this to you in private before, but
I don't know if she was the head of the RNC or the co-chair of the RNC when I met her last year, but I had no idea she was that now. I did not know that she had taken that position over.
I had told you this before, but that I think Charlemagne is a Fed.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Or CIA, like even
CIA,
just straight up,
operative.
CIA.
Yeah.
I just think he's too. I don't know. There's something about him. He's been buddy with Diddy for years. The Diddy story comes out, and he's like, everybody around Diddy who was involved is gonna fall, and you're just like. You?
Yeah, he's so matter-of-factly committed to lies. Like, in that Trump thing, and I thought it was insane that they edited it this way, where he literally floated the good people on both sides thing, right?
Yeah.
And then had the audacity to cut in the unedited version of the video clip that disproves what he just said. And then they cut back to him, and he's still trying to hammer that point home where he's like, what's it like to have a racist father-in-law? And she's like, look here, chocolate mane. Look here, chocolate mane.
The guy's not racist. And he was like, nobody's ever said that he's ever said anything racist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And for like 40 years on television, on anything.
And there's never a moment.
Just said the same thing on a podcast.
It was with
RG3.
RG3, yeah, same thing. And what I don't like about Charlemagne, and what makes me
a lot.
Yeah, well, the obvious one. No, I'm kidding. What I don't like about Charlemagne, fun fact, a lot of people don't know that Charlemagne had a conversation where he coached up Van Lathan before we had that interview sit down. And basically was like trying to get him psychologically ready to deal with what he thought was some sort of vehement white supremacist and not just a comedian who likes to say the N-word because it's fucking hilarious. But and by the way, who often does it mocking racism, not being racist, but sometimes does it being racist. And so I already from the get-go, I have this distaste for Charlemagne because his allegiance is first and foremost to all things black, regardless of whether or not it's good or bad. And two, there's never any contrition in any of his interviews when he pushes one of these liberal propaganda talking points and it gets completely demolished and obliterated. Killer Mike will do this to him often, where Charlemagne will try to push through some black supremacist liberal piece of propaganda, and Killer Mike will be like, that's actually not true. And he'll hit him with a fact check. And rather than Charlemagne going, oh, wow, I was wrong about that, or wow, I didn't know all that, or any sort of acknowledgement that he's pushing through things that aren't true for the purposes of whipping up the friends.
He does a whataboutism.
He'll literally just move on to the next thing, which convinces me that A, he knows it's propaganda, and B, he has zero interest in the truth of anything.
Yeah, but sometimes he answers it with a whataboutism, right? So like Killer Mike will say one of those things and he'll go, so you're saying it's better to go with Trump, who's a racist who hates black people then?
Yeah. So he'll, exactly.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Yes, he'll,
and he's like, bro, and then it puts Killer Mike on the spot, and then he's got to go, brother. I'm not saying to pledge allegiance to any political party, and then he's got to go on this whole thing about how he, it's a fucking Jedi mind trick that he learned from the CIA.
Yeah, I agree.
His code name.
I agree. I think it's as simple as this. I think Charlemagne was at one of those Diddy parties. He was caught sipping on penis. He was in the same room as like fucking Dick Cheney or some shit. And they were like, you know what? We could use a Negro like you. And he was like, yeah, that ain't no problem. That ain't no problem.
That fucking weird triangle front lip he's got has probably been up some fucking old fucking Schneider's assholes.
Yeah, and you know what I think is so funny is that like they joke about Charlemagne being gay in the same open secret way they used to joke about Harvey Weinstein being a rapist, and I believe it. I believe that and if Charlemagne's one of those guys who could get caught sucking a dick and be like, yeah, so what's that got to do with the rise of white nationalism in the Republican Party? And you're just like, no. Let's go back to you sucking a man's penis right in front of all of us at the breakfast meeting. By the way, your show's called The Breakfast Club, and the opening line is, wake that ass up. Why? Is it tired from getting pounded by a man's cock the night before?
Do you remember the pilot episode of Always Sunny?
Yeah.
Where Dee's
Dave
like,
Chappelle knockoff guy is dating Dee, and they're trying to get the nightclub thing going.
Yeah, where Dee goes, all right, get Dennis Trunk, and I'll have some of my actor buddies show up, and we'll get them straight. We'll get them straightened out.
Yeah,
and then Mac was like, by the way, Dennis, like, what happened with that? It's just like, oh, I never told you they couldn't make it. They never showed up.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah. So then you could just flash cuts to that scene of Dennis and that giant black dude walking out. He's like, and how that ass feel?
Yeah,
just like, yeah. I was like, dude, that's exactly what that shit reminds me of. Like, they found that motherfucker and he woke him up and, he's like, wake that ass up. You're like, why? Is it readily available for you? What is this?
Exactly. Also, anyone who calls himself Chocolate Maine the God is a fucking faggot.
Who's JLP?
Jesse Lee Peterson. That's what he's asking. Have we met Jesse Lee Peterson?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, we both met him the same time. We got to go on or have him on ours.
I did Jesse Lee Peterson's impression
to him.
Jesse Lee Peterson, and it was a great day. I told him that his voice.
It was also at a walkaway event. This was what was it in the spring? It was before the special taping.
Yeah, it was probably like April.
It was March. I think it was March, actually. I think it was last March.
This past one.
Yeah, because it was before we taped the special. And the special was April. So I think it was in March.
Yeah. So
we were at a walkaway event, and as we were walking up, we saw Jesse Lee Peterson walking up. And you and you and I both got immediately excited. Like we were sort of like, oh man, we got to go. We got to go
start the show now.
We got to be funny and charismatic and help raise money and do it. This is good. And then as we walked up and saw Jesse Lee Peterson, you and I got, in a word I can only describe as fucking giddy.
Yeah, dude. Giddy. I got excited because I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking do him to him.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna do it, and sure enough.
First of all, he's cool as fuck. Like immediately, just like this is how giddy you knew I was to meet Jesse Lee Peterson. There was a full buffet that was serving food as we walked in, and I walked right past it.
It wasn't ready yet.
I walked right past it to Jesse Lee Peterson.
It wasn't ready yet. They were still putting it out.
But even as it started to be ready, I ignored the food.
When I went up to him to tell him that, I told him that he lived rent. I said, there's something that you said that went viral as a clip that lives rent free in my head. And I say it every single week. Has to be. And he was like, what's that? And I said, you know that Black Lives Matter was started by 3 fat black lesbians? Okay, sir, we are not going to go there. Okay. I'm just saying it was started by 3 fat black lesbians. That was. Are you aware of that? That's what I was saying. Because it was started by 3 fat black lesbians. But they lesbians and they black and they fat. So
and then he just proceeded to start telling us street jokes.
That's what you want to tell a street joke. Should I tell the Jesse Lee street joke that he had?
Yeah, the one he told us.
It said, what's the difference between Batman and the black man?
Okay, what's the difference? Batman and the black man.
Batman can go into a store without robbing. That's a Jesse Lee Peterson joke told to us.
Original.
By Jesse Lee Peterson. He was like, he did the typical old guy dad type shit where he just go, and you can use that. And you act there.
In your little stand-ups.
In your little stand-up there.
Yeah, we were trying I know it was before the special taping because we were trying hell to get him to come.
Oh yeah, because we wanted to have him and we would film the thing and have a fucking moment. I do remember. It was before the taping.
Trying to crank him like hell to get him to come to the special taping.
Yeah, that shit was funny though.
Yeah, he was a blast. We'll do something with him in the future.
Did you see speaking of podcasts, did you see Theo Vaughn had JD Vance on there? And
I watched that. I watched that the other day too.
Dude, he talked about fucking fentanyl. And he's like, it's crazy to say this, but man, it's a shame. He was like, you can't even do cocaine in our country anymore.
Yeah. And JD starts laughing. He goes, I guess I agree with you. I guess
he said, I'm stealing that line, which is a great double entendre, by the way. We're talking about cocaine.
Hilarious. Well, yeah, man, good. It's good shit today. Good shit this week. We had a good episode. Couple things before we get out of here to plug. Like we said, show December 6th. Tickets will go on sale on Friday. If you're not already, go to patreon.com/The Big Uglies Podcast. Support us over there. It's how we pay to do the show every month. And we appreciate your support over there. It's also just a nice way to say thank you if you do enjoy watching the show. You can also go to biguglyshop.com and
biguglyshop.com.
You could go you could go there and pick up some merch. Some merch has already started to sell. We sold some merch this week, which was pretty cool.
I don't buy merch. Translator buy merch.
Okay, now you're doing my bits.
We're selling a special online after they took it down from Amazon.
Yeah, just have to watch it on X. Yeah, and watch my special Goliath on X.
Watch a Goliath on their X platform.
Or YouTube.
Or on the YouTube.
Do you have anything to promote other than being Chinese for the close of the show?
Make sure you go to buy tickets on Friday for December 6th in Torrance, California.
I gotta ask you, Chang. It's Pearl Harbor weekend that we're doing this show at the end.
That's a Japanese.
Well, as if there's a difference.
Japanese Scrooge.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the fact that we're doing the show on Pearl Harbor weekend?
Well,
You expect to see lots of bombs.
Pearl Harbor is something for American to remember Japanese fury.
Okay. Very good.
I think it'd be tight. I think we should have that scene of Cuba Gooding Jr. shooting the fucking guns just playing in the background.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. I thought we could just
like actual clips from the movie Pearl Harbor.
I thought we could just beat David Hahn with bars of soap. It's like that scene. It's like that scene in The Goods when they're like, "Never forget, never forget." They just start looking over at Dr. Ken, and let's get him. And he's like, "I'm not even Japanese. I'm Korean." So I should have said that.
So yeah. Well, appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in.